Welcome to Shift Happens, where we discuss all things yoga, creating transformative experiences on the mat, off the mat, and on the path of yoga, with your host, international yogini, Mimi Adeogba.
Hi, welcome to Shift Happens with your host, international yogini Mimi, where we discuss all things yoga and experiences on the mat, off the mat, and on the path of yoga. We're here calling in from both US and rural England. And today I have as my guest, Sam Turrell. Sam Turrell is an international yogi who I had the pleasure of meeting while I was in India. And he is also known as the traveling masseuse. So if Hugh Jackman is out there listening to this right now, you're going to be one of Sam's clients, and he's going to give you the best massage ever. So I'd like to turn it over to you, Sam, so you can share with us a little bit about your background. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much. My name is Sam. I'm 28 from London, England. For years now, I've been working in the fashion industry within the retail sector. Until recently, I think it was maybe about 18 months ago, I found myself going down to Australia on a student visa. During that process, I had to choose a course, and the only courses my family could afford was either a massage therapy course or a bricklaying course. And not being much of a bricklayer, I chose massage therapy, and it started me on the most wonderful journey where I realized the beauty of holistic health and healing and wellness, and that led me to the moment of India, which over 4 weeks was the most incredible experience of my life, being taught by yours truly, Mimi, and just going through the disciplines, the philosophies, the lifestyle changes that yoga can teach. And it's been, and now I find myself, about 3 months later since that experience in India, and the effects that it's having to me on a day-to-day basis I can't even explain.
That's beautiful. It sounds like you've gone through a lot of shift yourself over the last 8-9 months.
I have, it's been, I've been someone who in London was very much part of the party scene, was very much of kind of that scene of alcohol and cigarettes and all the other kind of naughty taboos. And over this chapter, it has really been a shift, over probably the last maybe 3 years, but again, really culminating in the last 6 months. It's been such a shift, and yoga has been at the forefront of that now.
That's beautiful. You mentioned yoga being at the forefront of this shift that's happening in your life. So would you mind sharing with our listeners, what is yoga to you?
I read somewhere recently that yoga is the modification of self-awareness and one's relationship with the world. And when I read that, it struck such a chord with me, because I'd been thinking about what yoga did mean to me. When people asked, can you do this shape? Can you do that shape? And it was never about that for me. And it still isn't about that for me. But what it has changed is it has changed that relationship with the world. It has changed my awareness of looking at the world. It's changed my breathing patterns. It's changed my anxiety. It's changed my mental ability to kind of let go of more emotions and disattach myself from negativity. It's engaged me in so much more that I now see the world is. Obviously, there's still a physicality to it as well, which has had a beautiful benefit as well. But yoga's so much more, and it's so much more to me. And I really love being able to describe and tell that to people, that it's not just what we see of it as in the West, about kind of putting ourselves into a pretzel shape. It's about lifestyle. It's about changing your relationship and seeing all the beauty there is. And yoga can give you that self-realization.
That's beautiful. I remember our first class when I was going around the classroom asking everybody, so what's your level of experience? And you said, I just want to make sure you understand. I'm an absolute beginner. Can you teach me with all of these other people who've been practicing, even though I am I don't think you understand, Mimi, an absolute beginner.
You know, I've told this story to so many people. It was, you know, it's and for all your listeners as well. We got there. And Mimi sat around, like she says, and asking us. And the first lady was from Canada, this beautiful woman called Dawn. And she had done various teacher training practices before. And me and my friend just look at each other going, oh no. Dawn, she's done yoga for about 30 years. And then you've got another beautiful Australian girl called Grace who tells us she's done yoga for 10 years. And me and Yusuke, my Japanese friend who I was doing it with, really were beginners. It got to me and I described it as Mimi just said. And even better is then we got to Yusuke and we looked at him and he goes, well, I've never done yoga before at all. But what a transformation, just even over a month, you know, and that's for me also something that is a representation of yoga, that you have to throw yourself into it. You have to live, breathe and sleep it. You have to really, if you want to get as much as possible out of it, throw yourself into it and really just see all the benefits that it can be.
Yeah.
It really is, mate.
I think there's this quote. It says, yoga isn't being able to touch your toes. It's what happens when you're on your way down, when you're going down to touch your toes.
So true.
I love that quote.
It's, you know, and again, exactly, you know, I think all the times prior to doing yoga, I'd always kind of, you know, my focus had been so outward onto, you know, the pain in my hamstrings and now straight away, as soon as I do any sort of contortion, it's all about inward focus and about my breath and about where that's going. And I think that is a representation of change that you see when you start practicing a lot more often, you know?
Yes, the internal work, the awareness of the breath. So beautifully stated. So you mentioned your yoga teacher training course. So I'm often asked by folks, what is a yoga teacher training course, especially if they've never had any experience with yoga? And I'd like for our listeners to understand different perspectives. So what is a yoga teacher training course to Sam Turrell?
You know, I think for me, a yoga teacher training course is a way to intensively throw yourself in to all that is yoga. It's a way to learn about discipline, but not discipline how we've been raised to believe what discipline is. About learning about disciplines in the most positive of ways, about discipline in your body to wake up in the mornings and to get on with your practice, to not make excuses, to eat healthily, to learn philosophy, to learn new ideologies. For me, yoga teacher training was about being with other like-minded people, about appreciating people who are on similar or different journeys to your own, about understanding new cultures, new ideas, about reflecting love and positivity and what a benefit that can not only be to you as a person, but to the world all over. And I think for me, that's what the yoga teacher training was really about. And sure, it's helped me now get a much more kind of wider array of skills in terms of, you know, my knowledge of mantras or in terms of routines or flows. But I think it's so much deeper. And I think that it's, you know, I think as a society, you know, we still kind of have a lot of things like national service. What a ridiculous concept in a lot of ways. I mean, there's a lot of positives about national service, I'm sure. But what if the national service was for everyone to go and do their yoga teacher training?
Yes.
To get a more in-depth knowledge? Because I think that with the teacher training, it's a way to get that in-depth insight into so much more than what just a normal yoga class or a yoga retreat can offer you. They can offer you amazing things and it's time for yourself and it's a way for you to do you. But by doing teaching, you're learning about all the 8 limbs of your yoga. You're learning about everything that it stands for, and that will manifest itself in your life. It will go deep inside your core. It will bring you to your intuitive point. And I think that for me, having seen that lifestyle change and having seen the effect it's had, not only on me, but also on one of my best friends who I still speak to every day about the course that we've had, it happens. It's real. And it's a beautiful and magical thing.
Thank you. So beautifully stated.
Oh, thank you.
So very comprehensive. It resonates very powerfully with me. Well, you know that it resonates with me.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing that with our listeners.
Thank you. But and additionally to that, you know, I mean, you, Mimi, and everything that you taught on a personal level, and helping a lot of the emotional blockages that a lot of us students had, and helping clear those out. That's another powerful part of the whole program. You know, it's a way to restart. You know, it's a way to see something with fresh eyes and start all over again. You know, a detox, a cleanse, or whatever you want to call it. There's so many aspects to it, and you as a practitioner have an incredible ability and an incredible power to bring out that in people and to really help people on that transition and on that journey. And for that, I will be ever grateful.
You're so welcome. I think I intuited that in you as well, the healer that is within you, because your essence that you convey, the way that you bring people into a space and you hold the space so authentically, so nurturingly, so intuitively. It's a gift that you have. And I think that that's what resonated with me when I met you. And I think that that's also what you intuited when you met me. It's like, you want to do this. You want to be here. And I love how powerfully you're showing up for your friends like Yusuke and everybody who you met in Rishikesh Yoga Faith, like Mayank and me, Amu teacher, Grace and Dawn. Thank you.
My people, beautiful people.
So that wraps up the interview part, but then I have a little bit of an aside kind of thing going. And
Please.
You mentioned it's not about bending yourself into a pretzel, but a lot of people do think it's that way. So let's humor them. Yeah. Why don't you share with us, what is your favorite yoga asana?
Right now, I've been really practicing the crow. I've been trying to build up my strength to do that, to then eventually go into headstand.
Nice.
Is where I'd like to get to. Obviously I'd like to get to, but I haven't been able to yet. But that and Ustrasana in camel. Obviously it's a really another one that I really like. As well as wheel pose. I think it's Chakrasana.
Chakrasana, yes.
Chakrasana, is another one. I really like the release that I get when I do a deep back bend.
That's really, that heart center.
Exactly. You know, it's a real heart opener. And additionally, even on a physiological spectrum, I had for a long time my alignment and my posture meant that my neck rolled a little bit forward and my shoulders were slightly hunched. And I found by doing those asanas, it's really opened me up, as long as I obviously follow it with with child's pose to correct it. But my spine really feels like it's had such it feels like it's starting to realign back into that of where it should be, opposed to kind of a crippled old man, but no, it's so they're probably currently are my favorites, and I love teaching them as well, especially when you can do modifications and different stages to get into the posture. But you can't beat a good old Surya Namaskar.
When in doubt, default to Surya Namaskar with the mantras. Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Sam, for sharing with us your perspectives on Shift Happens with your international yogini, Mimi. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You've been listening to Shift Happens with international yogini Mimi Adeogba. To learn how to build your own yoga brand while creating transformative learning experiences for others, or to listen to past episodes, go to yoginimimi.com.